Hey class, welcome to lesson 3. I want to start off this video by first off apologizing for the first 2 weeks of this class. I feel like it's been majority of my fault, and just I know this section just like opened like mid the first week. I didn't think I was teaching this semester, and so it's been kind of a little bit of a whirlwind getting things up and going. I have taught this particular class, PC 101, before. I taught it last fall, but they've made some serious changes to the course. So a lot of my old notes, a lot of that old information that I had on this course isn't accurate anymore. And so it's taken me some time to kind of go through things, learn what they've changed. It's kind of interesting because they've changed a lot of things. They've kept a lot of things the same. So I kind of am just going to be treating this class the rest of the semester as if it's a brand new class. I don't want to make any assumptions that it's going to be the same as last time, because then my videos might be confusing and whatnot if I keep reusing those. So I just want to start off by, again, saying thank you for all of you guys. I know there's been some confusion maybe on some stuff that I had said in my previous videos, that content wasn't there, assignments weren't there. So I appreciate you being flexible. Going forward, we should be good though now. One thing I did want to mention is that for the first couple of weeks, I will be going through and removing any late penalties. This is something I typically do regardless of the semester, just because when I'm teaching a class like this one, a PC 101, where you're just getting back into school, a lot of you haven't been in school for a while. It gets, and now, you're in an online setting, you kind of need to get into that framework of, you got to submit things by Saturday, and you see how the submitting process goes and all that. So I go through and I take off the first 2 weeks of late penalties. So if you've submitted something late during that time, then don't worry, I'll take that away. But going forward, now I do kind of expect that you have gotten into that routine and you do know how to submit things, and you know kind of the layout of the class. And so if you do submit things going forward, they will be late unless you have an excusable reason in which you need to email me and let me know. So with that, just a couple things about this class. Sorry if I keep looking over to the side. I gotta use my notes here. I can't memorize all this stuff off the top of my head. So going forward, just kind of a reminder of how this class is laid out. As you've seen the first couple weeks, there's like 3 sections, or 3 topics, I guess you could call them, not really sections, that we focus on. And they're all there in the modules and they're well labeled, but there's the life skills portion, there's the writing portion, and then there's the math portion. Primarily the assignments that I will see of yours will be either life skills or writing. A lot of the math stuff's going to be auto graded. So if you have questions with the math, or you're having issues on assignments, please reach out to me. Math is my background, as you saw in my intro video, but I do okay with writing and stuff too, so that's why they let me teach this class. But one of my favorite parts of this class is life skills. So let's talk about this week in life skills. This week we're going to be continuing our modules on learning stewardship, and we're specifically going to be talking about a couple topics that I really like, and that's a fixed mindset versus a growth mindset. In a nutshell, and you'll read this and watch some videos and stuff, so I'm not going to go into great detail because you'll do that as part of your coursework. But a fixed mindset is basically thinking each person comes to this earth and they only have a certain capacity that they're able to learn, or a certain amount of things that they can learn, and then after that they're done, right? And then a growth mindset is somebody that thinks, really we come to this earth with maybe almost unlimited capacity, and that we can do what we want when we come here. We can learn new things. Now, it's interesting as I think about this, because I do feel like some people are just naturally better at certain things, and a lot of times that goes along with what things that you enjoy and you find more enjoyable. But I'm really a firm believer more in the growth mindset mentality, where, I don't like I hate when students say things like, oh, I can't do it. Like, I'm just not able to do that. And I get that there's going to be topics that will be harder and some that will be easier. For me, math and science always came somewhat easy. I struggled with English. I really had to focus on my writing and really put a lot of time and effort into that. And it was hard because I didn't like it, because I wasn't naturally good at it. But it doesn't mean you can't learn it and that you can't learn those things. This week's application activity that you'll be doing is focused on these different learning stewardships, growth mindset, fixed mindset. So please download that document, fill that, and submit it for your assignment. The next thing that we'll be working on this week is writing. Last week we started our writing a little bit. This week we're going to kind of begin the first week of a few week process of writing an essay. So in week 5, so we're in week 3, so we still got 2 or 3 weeks here. Week 5, you'll be turning in a completed essay. This week you will start on the introductory paragraph. So one word of caution or advice I'd give you is make sure that you're saving these files and saving all your work in a central location that you can go back and use, because week 3, week 4, week 5, we're going to build on this, and at the end of week 5 you're going to turn in this essay. So this week we'll be focusing on the introductory paragraph. Last week we did a paragraph in general and kind of the rules of writing a paragraph. This time we're going to specifically work on an introductory paragraph. So there will be an assignment on that and kind of writing your introductory paragraph for your essay. Last but not least is the math. This week in math we're going to be working on rounding and decimals. I love rounding. I think rounding is a great tool to learn, and the fun thing about this lesson is a lot of people think, oh, rounding, that's fairly simple. Like if it's over 5, you round up, and if it's below, you round down, right? And yeah, the concept or how you round might be fairly simple, but what I like about this lesson is it kind of shows you some ways that you can really use rounding in everyday life. I mean, when you go to the grocery store and you want to mentally add up how much things are going to cost or how much things are going to do, you can easily round, and it gets you in the ballpark. That's the thing I like about rounding is if you are working on something and you don't need to know an exact number, rounding's a great tool to use because it kind of just gets you in that ballpark. When you're doing your grocery shopping, if you know you have $60 and you round and you find that you rounded and it's like 55, you have enough to pay for your groceries, right? It kind of gets you in that ballpark range. Now obviously rounding would not be a good thing to do if you were needing specifics, right? If you needed to know exactly how much was in that bank account, or if you were building something and you needed to know the exact dimensions between two things, right? In those kind of scenarios, you may not want to round. There's sometimes I've responded to a lot of your things. I'm a big DIYer. I like making things at home. There's some projects I work on where I do round, where it's like, that this piece of wood or this thing, it doesn't matter if it's 20 or 20 and a half inches. So, I'll just I might round and just say, oh, I'll just use 20, right? It doesn't need to be exact. So great lesson there in rounding and decimals. So, and then with that, there'll be a quiz to go along with it that will be auto-graded. So that's what's on the agenda for this week. In a nutshell, obviously there's lots more detail as you go through the lesson. I can't remember if I mentioned in the beginning of this video. I make these and now I forget where I'm at. But this is my office at work right now, so you probably won't see this background. I don't love this background, but I had some time here on my lunch break that I thought I'd just kind of whip out this video real quick, so I can make sure I get it posted. I hope everybody's staying safe out there. I know this is such a crazy time right now, for myself included. If I were to be, I work at a food manufacturing plant, and so most of my day I'm actually walking around and I've got my glasses on, I've got my face shield on, and I gotta wear a hairnet too because I'm out in food, and then I've got another schmuck thing I put on, and this is how most of my days look. So this is not normal. Hairnet's normal. That's normal for working in food, but this stuff is not. And so I get that it's a crazy world we're living in right now, and so I'll keep that in mind as the semester goes on, if things are changing and stuff, and if there's issues of getting things submitted or gatherings and whatnot, because of all that, I'll be very mindful of all that stuff. So I hope you're all staying safe. Have a great week, and we'll see you next week.